So we can get started. You ready to roll?
Ready to roll.
Awesome. Mr. Cowley, thank you for being with me here at the Parker Cast. This is super exciting for me to have you on here. For those of you kind of watching at home, Dave and I spent maybe a year and a half on the Weatherford School Board together.
We did.
That was it wasn't recently.
No.
I mean, it was 2013, I think.
Yeah.
Was the 1 year. You served 3-year terms. Did you only do one term?
I did 3 terms.
Okay.
I did 9 years. I started in 2005 and got off in 2015.
So you were part of the School Board of the Year, the TASB,
oh, yeah.
right? That was the big picture. The
yeah.
2009, that is a big deal. Now, I wanted to talk to you a little about radio, but let's talk about service a little bit first, Dave, because not only are you kind of one of the voices of Parker County, but people recognize you and your face. You're up on stage, you're volunteering your time, you're introducing people. I can't tell you how many charity events that I've gone to when you've been kind of hosting or emceeing.
Right.
When did this all kind of start? What was kind of the idea behind service? We didn't start it when we were 14-year-old men. I mean, we kind of got the idea.
No, we didn't. I moved here from Dallas in 1998, and it started immediately.
Okay.
I had a very, very good friend, the late, great Don Allen, who was the president of Jerry Chevrolet.
Absolutely.
Loved that man. Spoke at his funeral. And he and Roger Grizzard, another great man we lost way too soon.
Mm-hmm.
But they would always, if they had an event, they had something going on, hey, would you MC it? And I would gladly do it for those guys. And so since every year I MC the Teacher of the Year luncheon. There's a few things I've cut way back because let's let somebody new come in and do
Yes.
a lot of that.
Yes.
But there are 3 or 4 that I will do because I believe in the cause, And as you know, teachers hold a big place in my heart.
Education Foundation, I think.
Yeah, I'm a charter member of the founding member of the Education Foundation, 21 years.
Which is amazing.
For the Weatherford ISD.
Yeah.
We've raised a whole lot of around $2 million.
Really?
Yeah, for teachers.
Yeah.
For teaching aides in the classroom. But, there's a few of those things that I do. But, boy, back in the day, chamber banquets, I mean, I've often said this. I've emceed everything from wrestling matches.
Okay.
I was a ring announcer for the Von Erichs.
Oh.
Back in the day.
Did you see the movie?
Yeah.
What'd you think? Close to reality?
Oh,
no, really?
No, we're close to reality. And Kevin will tell you the same thing. I talked to Kevin after, and he was disappointed.
Remind me of the ending. I mean, there's one that's still with us.
And he's it.
He's it. And he was disappointed. I'm assuming he had to probably sign off on it or give. No, it's just a historical drama.
Yeah, but I've emceed everything from wrestling matches to beauty pageants, and some beauty pageants that became wrestling matches.
Okay.
So I've done all those things.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's very, very good. So I remember, in Weatherford, we got to get, there was a bomb package we worked on and stuff for the students constantly. And you were always right there, willing to step up, willing to help, always very vocal on the board. And it was always very admirable, being able to kind of see you up there.
You.
That was my first year on the board.
Yeah.
It was yourself and I think it was Kip Hooks were the two. We got to serve 1 year together.
Yeah.
And I think we did good stuff. I think it was good work.
Stuff.
So and
I'm proud of being on the WISD the board.
Yeah.
And Dr. Deborah Crone, her leadership was fantastic. The Weatherford ISD has been very, very lucky. They've had some great superintendents, some great leadership, and we don't often recognize that.
Yeah.
You come to a town, you come to a little town like Weatherford, and the schools here are exceptional.
They are.
They really are.
Well, and I'll tell you,
people need to appreciate that.
Even my oldest daughter, she's almost 20 years old, and she's gotten a little bit of that. She's off at Texas Tech right now, and Brenna, where do you want to settle down? Where do you want to go? And she wants to fly the coop. She wants to go somewhere else, and it's like, I had that vibe once. I get it, but there's people flying the coop to here.
Yeah.
Like this is a destination in a lot of ways. Not insinuating perfection, not insinuating that everything
No.
is wonderful, but in life, Weatherford is really a wonderful place to be. Parker County in general is a wonderful place to be. About to get a Costco.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a game changer for my I mean, we're about to get a Costco. We already got the HEB. I thought HEB was prayers answered. And that was it.
Yeah.
Now there's a Costco. My daughter's already applied to work there. I was like, Morgan, you're going away to school. She's like, I got 3 months. I want to work at Costco for 3 months.
So you actually buy cheese puffs by the case?
Yes, that's it. No, we are big fans. But driving into the Brian Irvin one, I'll tell you, it's a little bit of a whooping. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but Costco's pretty good.
Well, good.
So what do you think of the setup here?
I love it. Man, it's very, very impressive.
This is something.
You've always been impressive, though.
Well, I appreciate
everything
it.
that you do.
We try. It's funny you say that, and I don't think this is a bragging or tooting my own horn, but I say this to my daughters, I say it to my wife, I say it to my students at the college, but I really do have this deep feeling inside, Dave, that you get one ride at this. I'm on a roller coaster, this thing
Sure.
called life, and it's going to end. And just try it all, taste it all, touch it all. Do as much as you possibly can.
Right.
Now, I didn't intend this to be the segue, but I kind of like what I just said, so I'm going to make this the segue. So I do want to talk to you about your life in radio. I imagine, I can't even imagine the hours you've spent with headphones on your ear and a microphone in front of you. And, kind of where did this get started? How long have we been doing it? I have guesses, but I really don't know. Like, how long have you been in this industry?
38 years.
Okay.
And I knew at an early age exactly what I wanted to be. I wanted to be in radio. I wanted to be Dick Clark.
I love it.
And when you have the opportunity to meet your childhood heroes, you want them to be exactly what you hope they would be.
Yeah.
And he was. And our paths crossed on many occasions. One of the thrills, I've only been nervous for 2 of the hundreds of interviews that I've done.
Okay.
One was Sam Phillips. Sam Phillips was the owner of Sun Records. He is the father of rock and roll music, personally responsible for Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, Roy Orbison, Carl Perkins, B.B. King.
So not a producer, he's the owner.
He was the owner, and he produced all those records.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all those records.
Wow.
So him and Dick Clark. Dick invited me up to his hotel suite at what used to be the Grand Kapinski. I don't know what it is now in Dallas on 75.
Oh, in Dallas.
Yeah.
This isn't Vegas or out in California.
No.
This is right here in Dallas.
Yeah, he came to Dallas often, and so we had lunch together, and I was sweating bullets, and he was the kindest, most giving man, and our paths crossed several times after that, and he was always that way, consummate professional. And so I watched American Bandstand growing up. For those of you who don't know, American Bandstand was a television show that had kids dancing to records.
Oh, yeah.
And that was it.
I remember the Bandstand. Yeah, I remember the song, yeah.
So I wanted to be on the radio. My first job in radio was in a trailer house in Mineral Wells on Welcome Mountain.
Okay, so you say you moved here in 98. That's Weatherford.
Right.
But you had Mineral Wells. That was your first
My first radio gig.
radio gig. Okay.
So I drove from Heartstrings, Bedford, where I was living, to Mineral Wells just to be on the radio.
Oh.
For a job that paid probably $3 an hour
Wow.
from 7 to midnight on Sunday nights. And my very first night, there was a tornado warning, and I'm on top of a hill in Mineral Wells in a trailer house, no less.
Yeah.
But back then, I wouldn't trade it for the world. We played records, 45s, which, again, kids, isn't a gun. It's a little
Small record.
record with a big hole in the middle.
Records are making a bit of a comeback.
Yeah, vinyl. Yeah.
My daughter that was her big Christmas gift, was a record player.
Good for her.
And got tons of vinyl, and she loves the old one. Her favorite thing in the world is Sinatra.
Oh.
That's like she got the Sinatra Christmas, she got the Sinatra Best
for
of,
her.
and
I
it's
love
like
that.
and I'm like, really? You have it at your fingertips digitally?
Yeah.
Nope, they want it. She wants the
warmth
vinyl
of the record.
Yeah, she likes the sound.
But back then, disc jockeys smoked all the time. So you went into this cracker box studio, ashtrays overflowing with cigarette butts. It stunk. The microphone smelled like these old guys, and because smoking lowered your,
Oh, your
voice, and they all wanted that low voice back then. That was
yes.
it.
Oh man.
And so started doing that.
That is so funny because we kind of make fun of that now. You got a smoker's voice.
Yeah.
But no, that's the deep, smooth voice on the radio. Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, talking about podcast today is where radio was in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. And you're going to be great at this because the secret of successful radio, the secret of a successful podcast is personality.
I'm in.
In the 1970s, they tried to kill radio by, it's another 10 in a row commercial free, all music. And they took the Wolfman Jacks out.
Oh, I see where you're going with it.
They took the personality out of radio. And I was in New York City last year talking to the National Association of Broadcasters about personality radio. And people can get music anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. But they can't get the personality anywhere.
So
they can't get the stories anywhere.
This is where I was going to ask you, because it seems like, to me, an observation that I've had is that radio's kind of not going away.
It will never go away.
Like if my industry was print media, I might be a little nervous. If I was a cable TV show producer, I don't know if cable TV is going to be around 30 years from now.
Right.
But there's some odd staying power. I'm sure you remember early 2000s, Sirius and XM radio. And now they're radio, so now they're probably bedfellows, and that's good. But they were going to take over radio. Radio was going to be gone.
They didn't.
And they didn't. And radio's still around. And to be perfectly honest, there's something oddly familiar about what we're doing right now at this very moment that is almost radio-esque.
Yes.
I mean, this is not TV, really. This is not a production television show. It's just radio in a digitized format that I'm going to push out on YouTube and Spotify and Facebook. We're going to push it out, but it's radio, really, is kind of what it feels like. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong.
The master of that was Ron Chapman.
Okay.
Ron Chapman on KVIL in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and I mean he's a radio Hall of Famer. Bob Kingsley, same thing.
Okay.
They told stories.
Kingsley's the name of that's the namesake. Isn't there a namesake in Weatherford of Kingsley?
Yeah, we broadcast.
Yeah.
Can I give a plug to the?
That's what we're here for. Yeah, absolutely.
88.5, 102.5, the Coyote, owned by Weatherford College. I'm the general manager. Also do the morning show.
Yeah.
And an afternoon show now, because we wanted to get moms in line picking up kids, and we got them,
Nice.
Because radio will never go away because they turn on the car. Very few people have radios in their homes now.
True.
But they have Alexa, but in the car, they turn on the radio and they hear us. Well, as a kid, I heard Ron Chapman and Bob Kingsley, and they told stories, and they related to their audience. It wasn't just about the music. It was about the personality.
Humans love stories. Humans love stories.
Exactly.
I mean, psychologically, we sat around the campfire for eons, centuries, millennial, telling each other stories, and we love that. There's something in there. Don't quote my science on it, but there's something in there about stories that's different.
Podcasts are so popular.
Maybe that's it. There's two things that you just said, and I did not want to interrupt you, but I was dying to, because it was funny. You said about, the radio won't die. And as we're driving in, I'm showing my daughter, the Sirius satellite radio, and I told her who I was going to be.
Turn that crap off.
I know. Well, it's NFL, but anyway. So I was telling her who I'm going to be interviewing and your role with the Coyote, and she said, as God is my witness, she says, "Oh, that's the one radio station I listen to." That's what she said. That's Morgan right there in the white. Morgan goes,
greatness.
Yep. She says, "That's the one radio station I listen to." And I was like, "No, you don't." She's like, "No, that's what I listen to, 102.5. And I go, and this is the second thing, I go, "Or do you listen to it on AM?" And she goes, "Oh, maybe, actually. I don't know which one." So as a follow-up, I told her, she goes, "What's the difference?" And I go, "I don't actually know. I mean, I know what AM is and I know what FM is, but what's on Dave's car on auto speed dial? Is it 88.5 or 102.5?
I listen to them all the time. I have to. Because
Both? One? What's the... they're
102.5.
102.5.
102.5 is the frequency for Weatherford. It was built for Weatherford. 88.5 is for the surrounding areas. Being a Weatherford College station, we have campuses in Wise County.
Yeah.
You know, and we talk to people in Palo Pinto County and in Hood County, and so that's
So
those
there
are
is
the
a
markets we
difference.
want.
There is a difference. The broadcasting technical side of it, the 88.5 shoots out farther.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Farther north, west,
Okay.
and south. 102.5 is basically the city limits of Weatherford.
Clarity difference? Oh,
Yeah,
102.5 clearer
in Weatherford
in Weatherford.
than 88.5.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, now I can answer her.
there you go.
Because she didn't know. She's like, which one
Yeah.
do I do? Because
FM, they're both FM.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you know,
Oh, are they both FM?
yes.
Oh, well, we were wrong. We thought the 88.5 was an AM.
Oh, no.
And the 102.5.
No.
So they're both FM, but the 88 shoots out farther.
Yes.
It's good info. I didn't know that. Yeah. AM. Did we ever have? Was it ever broadcast on AM?
No,
Have you ever broadcast on AM?
I have. Back in the day.
Good, bad.
For the time, it was okay.
Yeah.
It was all right. But, you know, AM radio is like news talk, sports talk, those kind of things. No music whatsoever,
No. No.
you know, on AM radio. But, you know, it will always be around. And podcasts now, I love them. I listen to them when I'm out of the range of the local of my station. I will listen to a podcast, and now I'm going to be listening to yours for a long time.
I love it. Well, it's odd. I don't know who I was just listening to, a podcaster, but he was talking about how, you know, his podcast. Oh, it was somebody about physics. So he does physics. This is his podcast, and he's internationally known and everything. I forget his name right now, but he was saying it's funny because my listeners who make comments and everything, some of them are construction workers, some of them are painters. And he's like, this was the oddest thing ever. He says when he really dove into the demographics of the listener and the heavy users and the very heavy users of his podcast, he's like, these were not intellectuals at a local university. He says they were painters, they were construction workers, but they were interested in physics.
Sure.
And I think that's the beauty of the reach of podcasts.
Well, and some of the most popular podcasts are the true crime podcasts.
Yes.
And housewives.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's unbelievable. I mean, there's a fantastic television show about a true crime podcast, Only Murders in the Building. Steve Martin and Martin Short.
Oh, and the female in that is she was dating Justin Bieber. Who is the girl? She's the female lead.
Yes.
I forget her name. She's actually a Fort Worth native.
Really?
Yeah, she was on the Wizards of Waverly Place on the Disney Channel. All I could think of is Selma Hayek, and that's not it because she's like 50.
Yeah.
But anyway, gosh, Bieber's ex-girlfriend, but I forget. Listeners will probably know. But no, it is interesting. Like when
People are beating on their dash.
Yes,
and going,
yes,
"Hey, what's-"
yeah. When we go live, I mean, when I post this on Spotify, YouTube, etc., there could be listeners from Bangladesh or from Russia or China. I mean, it is interesting the way it all works. The reach of it all is wild.
We have an app. You can go to the App Store and type in The Coyote.
Okay,
Download it on your phone.
love it.
And we've got a guy who listens every single day from the UK,
Nice.
from London, and it's his lunch hour during the mornings when we're on, and loves it. And we have also people in Ireland, Italy, and India, and Mexico.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
So tell us again, because I want people to know this. So that's the app. Go to the App Store. It's called The Coyote.
The Coyote.
The Coyote. And that gets access to, I'm sure it's all archived. You could listen to past episodes, or is it only live?
Well, it's only live, but we have podcasts on there from,
Gotcha.
from sporting events that we've done, things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's changed so much, from 38 years ago when we were playing records to now. We used to have we had a big transmitter that was as big as this wall, and now everything is fiber optics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's so
wild.
So wild.
It's good. It's all my big thing at the college I teach at is all artificial intelligence. It's AI.
Yeah.
I can't go to a conference or a seminar or a symposium where every breakout session isn't about AI.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're just learning, and what we're told and what I've observed is it's changing faster than we can even learn it. Like as soon as you kind of understand a concept, you download an app. I'm familiar with ChatGPT 3.0. There's a 4.0. Like it's
Right.
instantly. It's becoming. It's wild. Things are changing.
I'm going to be in Nashville in February, and
You love Nashville.
Oh, I do.
So any Facebook follower of Dave Cowley knows that you're going to see Nashville photos probably within a 12-month period. There's going to be a couple restaurants, a couple visits to Nashville. What's the draw there?
Well, in February, it's CRS, Country Radio Seminar.
Okay.
And so there are these breakout sessions, and AI is big,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and what it's going to do to radio and how it's affecting radio. Maybe I am just old school Dave here, but nothing will replace the live voice talking to you, because this is one person.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking to the guy, the girl on the other end of the mic.
Mm-hmm.
You can always tell an amateur who goes on radio or whatever the case may be,
sure.
and say, "Hey there, everybody, how's everybody doing?"
Yeah.
You know, you're not in a nightclub.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking to an individual, and you're relating to that individual.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The strategy you're talking about, that almost a tip, I guess you're given, is that when you're behind this mic, talk to one person.
You're talking to one person.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
And, you know, the greatest compliment I get is people saying, you know, I feel like I know you.
Yeah.
You made a friend over the air that you've never met.
Yeah. I feel that way. For me, it's more podcasters, but it is, no, it's not actually what we were just talking about, Randy Galloway.
Sure.
You know, we were talking about it for years and years. I just listened every day driving into work, driving in to teach. I listened to, I think it was 103.3 was the ESPN
When he was on
station.
ESPN.
Yeah, and he was on ESPN. I knew that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew Randy Galloway.
You didn't, but you did.
I didn't know him, and he didn't know me. But, man, I knew his opinions, and I kind of got the vibe of where he felt on certain things. And he would sometimes throw some political jokes, so I think I knew where he stood in the world. No, I got to know him.
Yeah.
And that is actually, you're right. I was about to say, no, it's different from my generation, but that's not true, because I did feel like I knew him. Yeah, yes, actually, and then I think it was either before or after Dave was Mike and Mike in the morning. So that's even bigger. That's a nationwide. Mike Golick and Mike Greenberg. No, I kind of felt a little bit like I knew. Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah.
We, me and my grandson Lane, who, as you know, I adore, talk about him all the time. He's at Oklahoma State University now. Every year for the past, he's 18, so for the past 13 years, we ring the bell for the Salvation Army at Christmas time.
Nice.
And people, total strangers, will come up and go, "This must be Lane."
Yep.
You know, they feel like they know him.
Well,
because
yeah.
I talk about him all the time on the radio, and you know, and so it's there again. You're building a relationship with someone you don't know, but they know you.
So I got a lot of questions about, that next stage, that grandfather stage in life. My oldest is almost 20, and then Morgan's 17. So, I mean, it's not happening tomorrow, I don't think, but within 10 years, I'm going to have grandchildren.
Sure.
But like, yours is in a different spot, and I don't want to fast forward it, because I really want to talk about, how great was it to be a grandfather and have Lane when he was young. But he's 18 now, you just said.
Yeah.
And he went off to college.
Yeah.
How has that been?
Killed me.
That's kind of what I...
Killed me. But I'll tell you this. He is living his best life, and I'm so proud of him, so happy for him. As a matter of fact, when he left for college, we both had tears in our eyes, and I said, "I just want you to know that, you're my best friend.
I love it.
And no matter where you go, no matter what you do, I'm always going to be there for you. I will always be there for you. And I'm a phone call away. But I want you to know, don't worry about me, because I take great delight in every success that you have. go out there and reach for the stars. You know, it's so cliche, you know, oh, you can do anything you set your mind to, but you can.
It kind of can.
You really can if you work hard. If you work hard and dream big enough, you can accomplish your goals. And he's done very well. I'm so proud of him. So happy for him. And I don't call him all the time. I don't, don't come see. Live your best life.
Where did the Patriots connection come from? And this is just something I got to ask because I again followed you from we became friends 2013, so it's almost over a decade now. And,
sure.
So Lane was probably 7 or 8 when I first saw him on Facebook with you.
Yeah.
And there was always Tom Brady Patriots, and I'm from New York, so I got my Eli Manning jersey. I'm loving my Giants.
Mm-hmm.
You guys ain't from Boston, so
No, we're not.
I'm always wondered where did this come from?
No, we're not. I was a huge Cowboy fan until Jerry Jones fired Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
When Jerry Jones fired Jimmy Johnson, he showed a little bit, well, not a little bit, he showed a lot of his ego and who he really was. Well, anybody can coach this team. Well, this was Jimmy Johnson's team. And he got Barry Switzer. Barry Switzer won a Super Bowl.
Kind of proved him right in a horrible way that has destroyed the team for 30 years.
With Jimmy Johnson's team.
Yes, of course.
But, so I was off that bandwagon.
Okay.
And I'd been to Boston several times, and I loved that area, and I loved Tom Brady.
So
Tom
this
Brady,
was you that drove the New England train.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This was Tom Brady. I love the fact that he worked really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a guy. He wasn't a first-round draft pick. Far from it.
Far from it.
And he became the greatest of all time because of his work ethic. And I started talking to Lane about that. Lane started to follow him. We both, got on.
It wasn't
Tom
too
Brady.
hard to follow him.
No.
You were following the greatest winner in the history. Yeah.
Exactly. And I still love the guy. And watch him on Fox Sports or whatever.
Yeah.
But, and still not a Cowboy fan.
Yeah. So, So, back to Lane and the grandson. I went on, I was like a, what do you call it when you go on a field trip? I'm a chaperone for a field trip when he went down to Houston. I think we went to see the boats and all this. He was like a 7th grade field trip,
really
8th grade field trip. But yeah, he was a really good kid. He had a lot of admiration for him. A lot of the kids seemed to want to be around him. His presence was big, and he was kind of a little bit of a larger than life figure, even right there, at his 8th grade or 7th grade or 6th grade, whatever it was.
And even at OSU, his freshman year, he joined a fraternity.
Okay.
And he was the president over the pledges.
Nice.
And so leadership roles and everything. He's like the Ferris Bueller of, and he stumbles into all this stuff. But I got, and I'm going to share this. I hope you don't mind.
No. I
got a text from him on Friday. And paraphrasing, it says, Granddad, I just want to let you know I'm dating this girl.
Okay.
Freshman here at OSU. And she asked me, we got into a deep conversation, and she asked me, how are you such a larger-than-life personality? Why are you so outgoing? And he said, it's because of my granddad. And he said, Granddad, I've always wanted to tell you this. I've always looked up to you, and I've always wanted to be just like you. And I've always wanted to serve. I've always wanted to just be the kind of guy that you are. And, I mean, if he only knew, he's 10 times the man I am. And he said, I am who I am because of the time I spent with you. And I'm bawling. I'm crying like a baby. And said, I just want you to know how much I love you and that you're my best friend. And so I call him up, and I say, Lane, you didn't make my day. You didn't make my week. You made my life.
Yeah.
That's what a granddad strives to do.
Absolutely.
It's what a dad strives to do.
No, it is. And we're almost running out of time here, but there's something that you just triggered a memory. It was maybe 6 months ago I was listening to a podcast about parenting, but it talked about being a grandfather. Didn't really go in too much about being a grandmother, but it said that we live in a very interesting time. In the last 80 to 90 years, we're really the first time where a grandfather, a male,
Right.
has an opportunity, not at redemption, but a second chance.
Yeah.
And a lot of men beat themselves up over what we do in life. We're not perfect creatures, but the grandfather role, that really the greatest generation was kind of the first one to ever have exposure to this opportunity. Everything going back decades, centuries before, there was no going to Disney World with your grandkid in the 1800s or the 1700s or the 1600s
Or the 1960s.
There you go. But they did slowly start to enjoy some leisure time and an opportunity to really go to Disney World with their kids and to, I don't want to say do it over again, or redemption does come to mind, but it was an opportunity, and we live in a very precious time where I'm going to have that opportunity too, where some of the things I wish I did with my daughters or whatnot, I'm going to have the opportunity to do it again with my grandkids.
And there you go, because I have a daughter.
Mm-hmm. I know. Yep.
Okay, Stephanie, and I have a granddaughter.
You do post a lot about her too.
And Stephanie and I are very close, and Tinsley and I are very close.
Yep, Tinsley.
But
Yep.
Lane and I are very close because he's the grandson. He's the son I never had.
Yep.
And so that's where all that comes from.
Absolutely.
We need to have a part 2.
We do need to have a part 2. No, Dave, I appreciate you coming on. You are one of the first to come on here to the Parker Cast, and we definitely got to have you on again.
It's an honor to be on, man.
These are 2 shorts. I get a bigger SD card, and we turn this into a 2-hour interview.
You got it, buddy.
Hey, Dave.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.